And we are live. We are live. Just gonna check. You hear me clicking? Say something. Say something. We are live. There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ardent. You are actually here. You got the time zones mixed up. Oh, no. Yes, I'm on the... hello. OBG70. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. And JEC, of course, is here. Everybody's here. Everybody is here. And we're up and running. On time for once. On time. Oh, man. Okay. All right. I don't have to do the normal delay thing here, Joan. We can get right into it. But I'll just briefly summarize yesterday. Good little show in Asbury Park, New Jersey. They had a zombie walk in town at the same time. Ardent, yeah, the guy I'm doing the interview with is in Belgium, and it's really hard to figure out the time zones. Damn it. Oh, okay. So you had another thing going on. I get it. So Asbury Park is always a good town for Halloween-y type stuff because it's full of hipsters. It has the paranormal bookstore, which if you haven't been to, it's fun to see. It's one of those places it's designed as like a creepy curio shop, right? Like from a movie. So it's like a set designer built the store. It's pretty cool. And they also do ghost tours in and around Asbury Park and on the boardwalk there. Asbury Park does have a boardwalk. It used to be the boardwalk for a long time, and now it got run down like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and now it's slowly starting to come back. It's been re-gentrified. Like it got so bad, then the hipsters went, "Ooh, let's live there." So now it's kind of cool. It's getting cooler and cooler. Although a friend of mine says, "Oh, that place that's like gay town," and I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. Gay town. All right, whatever. But a ton of hipsters, a ton of places to eat and drink. Like there was a place I saw on the way in called Killer Pies, which sounds like my kind of place. If it's just selling pies, that sounds awesome. But I didn't get a chance to go, so I did get food there, which was pretty good. I got food at the bar there. I think it's called the Bond Street Bar. It's one of these bars that's like, it's in Asbury Park's built up a little bit, so like the bar, we were in the basement, which was two other bars, and then there's a bar on the first floor, and like there's like entrances on each side of the block, and it's like a maze within a building. It's not the entire building, but it's a lot of the building. It's weird. It's not like where I live in South Jersey, where you just see a building, bar, or it'd be in a plaza like bar, and it'd just be a little square of space. It's like a habit trail of bar. Anyhow, all right, we're gonna get into the live stream here. I've got the trades up, so not a whole lot going on. Not any big announcements that happened today that I can see, other than Nikki Fink dies, a journalist, an entertainment journalist. She was 68. She had been sick, so there's no mystery there, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know. I don't know why I said that. So sad to hear. Didn't really know her work. Kanye West, of course, I don't know why he's like all over entertainment news again because of his shirt, and then getting restricted on Instagram, and then getting reinstituted on Twitter now. So now he's tweeting up a storm. But just another day with a Y in it. Kanye West makes like a few mil creating controversy. Um, here's something that kind of dropped, which was sort of interesting. Fred Armisen is in the new Wednesday TV series based on the Addams Family, and he's playing Uncle Fester, which I thought was an interesting choice because, as much as he's played almost as many really funny characters as he has played kind of like why did he agree to be in this characters, but for the most part he's definitely grown on me. I think he's kind of funny now, so I think that's a good role for him, even though I'm not particularly enamored about this series Wednesday. I don't know if you saw my video on it or the trailer. There's a new trailer out, but Fred wasn't in the first trailer. So like Uncle Fester wasn't in the first trailer, which I was just like, why? Like, he's got to be probably the funniest thing in it, number one. Number two, he's pretty famous. Luis Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who play Gomez and Morticia, arguably are more, but Fred is like working. They haven't really done a lot of stuff as much as Fred. I mean, Fred's been in like every funny thing, since, I don't know, since 2010. He's been involved in stuff. He was in Archer. He's just been everything. So why they would wait to promote him it's odd to me, because that would have made me excited about the show. Although now the full-length trailer tends to reveal what I said about it in my analysis, which is I knew it was going to focus on Wednesday, but it's going to be like more of a mystery show, more of like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of thing, combined with a lot of YA nonsense like cliques of vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. I don't know, because she's going to a school, and it's just the Addams Family to me always has worked, even when it hasn't been that good. It's always worked. So why would you do this other than, we gotta make Wednesday a super independent whammon, I guess. She was perfectly fine the way she is, but now that they end up humanizing her, and like Wednesday was always a side character, much cooler as a side character, I think. The other weird thing, I said Christina Ricci's in it, but she's not Wednesday, which is a shame, because I think it would have been so perfect to cast her as adult Wednesday. Now she's like Addams Family, basically Addams Family, the next generation, right? It would have been Wednesday is married and has kids, and Gomez and Morticia are still living in the house, and I guess she's living there with the family, or you'd have some reason. And like, who cares? Like, the characters are older, but it would be funny. It'd be funny as hell to see Christina Ricci do Wednesday Addams again as a grown-up. And for whatever reason, maybe she changed, right? Like, you could do a whole thing where she changed and she became like super normal to like rebel at some point, but now she's back with the family, and now she's slowly turning back into Wednesday the way she was when she was a kid. And that like the show could portray it like that's what she should be. That's like where she belongs. She belongs like, as the new matriarch of the family. I think it would have been great. This, like, I don't know, it's got a lot of YA tropes in it. It's not very appealing to me. But Fred Armisen as Uncle Fester was kind of cool. I have to admit, it was kind of cool. He was doing a cool voice. It was pretty close to Uncle Fester. And, he's not, I don't think he's quite heavy set enough to do it, but, it seems to work. Harvey Weinstein is facing trial again. So he's already in jail, and now they're going to try him again. With 9 accusers instead of 6. I mean, this guy, I don't think he's ever getting out of prison. Not that I think he should. yeah, this stuff that they had on him, Jesus, man. If you haven't heard those recordings, oof, they're kind of crazy. Um, yeah, so he should stay in prison. Yeah, it's just a matter of time, I think, before he just dies in there, because he's older, he's heavy set, he's used to this highfalutin lifestyle, and now he's in prison. Like, I think he's in actual prison, pretty near to actual prison as a rich guy can get. So, although Bill Cosby got out and he stayed in, huh? That's interesting. But Bill Cosby, although I think there's likely a lot of shenanigans there, can't say for sure. I don't know him, but seems to me that they did kind of railroad Cosby because I don't know why. I mean, I think they just wanted to convict him. I mean, I think there's something there, but I think both can be true, right? I think, like, he's probably guilty of some things, but they also railroaded him. So, which is weird because that's the way I feel about, like, OJ, right? I think OJ's totally guilty, but they also railroaded him to just like push the paperwork forward quicker, figuring he'd just go, well, yeah, I am guilty. And then when you fight back, it's like, oh, shoot, he's fighting back. Oh, I totally lied about that stuff. So that doesn't help anybody. SNL is back on the air, and stop me before I go into another SNL rant, but just wanted to note that I think they opened the show with something about Herschel Walker and Kanye West in a game show and Chris Pratt's Mario. And it's like, you could just see those three targets, right? It's like, everybody's targeting Kanye. I don't know if I'd say he's conservative, but he's certainly an independent thinker. Herschel Walker, total political guy now. Don't know why you would even do a sketch about Herschel Walker on SNL, but okay. And Chris Pratt, which, yeah, okay, he's in entertainment. It'd certainly be fodder for SNL, but okay, yeah, he's also probably conservative too. So it's like, boom, 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 three figures. Oh, we can't do Trump. Oh, well, let's just pick everybody else. Meanwhile, you got Joe Biden, who, like, he makes a gaffe now every single speech. Every single speech. And like, nothing. I mean, this week it was, I got 2 words. Made in America. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I guess there's no comedy in there. Yeah, I guess we can't figure out a joke. Jeez, it's so hard. Let's just go over to conservatives and call them evil and racist again. But that's what, unfortunately, Saturday Night Live is just degraded into. So sad. So sad. All right, moving on to Hollywood Reporter. Here's the SNL thing. Let's get into some box office. Smile bites off big, 17.6. As Amsterdam bombs and Lyle Crocodile limps. I didn't think that would do good. OBG. I haven't watched SNL in decades. Yeah, who has? Who has, quite frankly? All right, let's see the weekend chart here. Wow, Smile doing well. It did look creepy as F. I mean, the Smile movie, I don't think I want to see it. So a scene in it where a woman slits her own throat. I don't want to see that. It's too much. But wow, it's doing very well. People are loving it. I mean, it's a good Halloween movie, right? Good Halloween movie. All right, 17.6. 3,600 theaters. Doing well. Almost up to 50 million. I'm sure it didn't take that much to make. Oh, crap. I got the top setting. Oh, sorry. I got to remember to... All right, here we go. All right, who did I miss? I messed up my chat again. Sorry, everybody. JEC. I heard that Harvey's penis rotted off. Yeah, I wonder why They stopped this one, JC. I heard that Harvey's penis rotted off due to some sort of crazy infections. It's how they confirmed the girl's stories against him. Oh, really? Had no idea. Sorry about the top chat settings. Top Gun still in the top 10. Jesus, yes. Damn you, Cruise. Damn you. Look at you. Still in 1,100 theaters and still in the top 10. That's nuts. All right, so 1,100 theaters. That's 3 times the amount of theaters as a Smile. So really, he'd be doing like 2.4 million. He'd be above Bros and Barbarians. Bros. Bros. Bros shouldn't be in the top 10. Just get out of here, Bros. Jesus. Oh my God! And Top Gun was number 10 last week. Now it's up to number 9. It actually went up. Top Gun actually went up. Nuts. That's just nuts. That just shows you how terrible the movie industry is right now, for the most part. Avatar hanging on at 6 in 2,000 theaters now. Did they re-release Avatar or something? Yeah. It's because they're trying to remind everybody before they release the sequels, I guess. Because who the hell remembers Avatar at this point? The plot, the incredibly, in my view, derivative plot. With I can't stand Avatar. I know. I guess I'm in the minority there, but I don't care. I hate Avatar. I just hate it. It looked great, sure. Okay, looked great for the time. I saw it, but unobtainium. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Yeah, so Lyle Crocodile. I didn't think this movie would do good at all. I have Avatar to show off my good TV, but I've only watched it the one time. Who could watch it a second time? Jesus. Second time on that movie? It's a long movie, too. I think it's definitely over 2 hours, right? I remember it being long. JEC, at this point, I think the U.S. military is giving theaters kickbacks to keep Top Gun going because they're using it to recruit soldiers for World War III. They used to do that back in the Bush era, certainly. There were a ton of movies like that. I don't know if Top Gun is really a recruitment movie because it, on the one hand, does it glorify the military? I guess you could argue yes, but the focus really isn't the military. It's not, I don't want to give away too much of the movie if you haven't seen it, but, there's a lot of shenanigans going on, and, it's a way better movie than the first one. The first one was more of a recruitment, I think, for the military than 2. OBG, there was a bump in naval recruitment after the original Top Gun came out. Yeah, significant one. Yeah, what was that? That was in the 80s. When we were still, I guess we were still fighting the Soviets, and but it was all, neutral, in terms of we've been saying we're going to fight the Soviets for like decades, and we haven't done it. So everybody was still joining the military because it was like a good way to get college money and get some good resume material, and you do your stint, and then you'd be out. Certainly if you want to be a pilot, that avenue is the one you got to do. JC, I've seen photos of Air Force recruiters in the lobby of theaters in front of Top Gun 2 posters. I'm not surprised. They've done it before, and they certainly coordinated with the movie producers to use their toys. That's a thing I talked about in the Webcomic Factory's anti-war comic. It's a big thing. It's a huge thing, And the Pentagon will approve scripts. A lot of branches of the military. That's like part of the deal. We approve your script, and then you could use our toys. So, now I wonder if here's a thought. I wonder if the movie producers have to hire pilots, or do they just pay, military guys, or are they not allowed to take the pay? Like, does the Pentagon turn around and say, "You're going to be in this you're going to be in this Tom Cruise movie"? Like, what? I don't want to be in the movie. Well, you're not going to be in it. You're just going to be flying the planes around. Am I going to get any money? No. This is an order. Like, I wonder if it's like that. But, like, I got to imagine, like, Hollywood pays for, or the movie pays for, well, Hollywood pays for the fuel and things like that. But I'm wondering how the money works there. Never thought of that. I mean, sure, Tom Cruise is in the jet, but they gotta have real pilots fly that thing, and I don't think they could hire private guys to do it, right? It's like military vehicles. Yeah, so they must use our personnel to shoot this movie too. Which is why I guess it's like, to some extent the studios have to cut a deal. But not for much longer, I think, with CGI. Right? At some point you'll just take a movie like Top Gun and scan in the planes and change the way they fly a little bit, add a few more missiles, and voila, you got a completely new scene. I think that'll be legal. I mean, certainly if it's not legal, people will do it and make their own short movies that won't make any money, but it'll be all over the internet. So, I totally think Top Gun 2 is being used for recruitment, sure. Ardent, speaking of using military personnel, what did you think of Act of Valor? Which one was that? Act of Valor. I don't even remember this thing. Let me look it up. Oh, that was a while ago. Act of Valor. An elite team of Navy SEALs embark on a covert mission to recover a kidnapped CIA agent. Oh, it sounds good. I didn't see it. Mike McCoy, Scott Waugh, writer Kurt Johnstead. Who the heck's in this? Jeez, I don't know any of these actors. Didn't see it. But it looks cool. JC, the whole appeal of Top Gun 2 is that it's done with real jets and you can tell the difference between the real and CGI. Yeah, sure, but I think at some point the CGI will be viable. Will be very you won't be able to tell. I mean, at this point, I don't think I can tell a lot of times. But especially with machines, I think machines will be easier than, they did a lot of CGI in RRR, that Indian movie, but you could tell. You could tell the lion and the tigers are fake. But, with a jet, I mean, depending on the scene. Ardent, if I recall correctly, this movie was made using actual military personnel and procedures. I don't know if it was intended to be a recruitment tool, but it was supposed to be the most accurate ever. Oh. I have to see that. It looks cool. Sounds like it's based on a true story. I don't know how, generally if the guys win, I guess that's a recruitment movie, because, unless it's going to be one of these anti-war movies, as long as the military looks good. JC, they've done plenty of movies with fighter planes on the green screen. They look like S. I guess. I don't know. They did the guy from Top Gun 2 was also in a Korean War movie where basically he plays another Top Gun pilot again, but from that era. And they had those planes in it. I assume they're CGI. They look fine to me. I mean, I didn't see the movie. It was just in the trailer, but I'm telling you, the technology's getting there. But I know what you're saying. The Top Gun 2 movie did look great. You know what was great on it, I think, was the sound. The sound was amazing. And I don't say that often in a movie. Like the sound of Tom Cruise taking off, I mean, you could really hear it. And it felt like you were in the plane with him when he takes off in that early scene. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. You know, if you're looking for it, I think for a lot of audiences, and you know, again, like if it gets close enough, or you don't have a lot of scenes, like it's not that important to the movie, and you just need like one scene of a fighter jet, I think you can get away with it now. But in a few years, I think it'll be almost seamless. I mean, some of the stuff is very seamless to me, you know. But yeah, I mean, you look at the Mandalorian, shot completely in a 360-degree soundstage. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's all fake, but it looks consistently good, I think, from what I've seen of the clips. I didn't see the show. I'm not going to buy Disney Plus. F you, Disney. Hate Disney. Disney's not in the top 10, by the way. Ha! But, yeah, and then in Amsterdam, which looked good, not doing well. That's sad. That's really sad. Man, Christian Bale and Margot Robbie. JC, I've seen clips of them flying through the mountain ranges, and it's obvious real. Couldn't get all the little details with CGI. I mean, that's true. That's true, especially when you compare the two. I think it's way more obvious, obviously. It's like one of those things. When you compare the two, sure, the CGI is going to look like utter crap. But if you're in the middle of a movie and you're kind of caught up in it, and it's just a short scene, I think it's fine. Mandalorian was all indoors. It looked phenomenal in that case. Yeah, 360-degree soundstage. So like, you know, they had these sweeping scenes of like the Mandalorian looking around on a planet, and the camera goes all over the place, and it's like, it's nuts. I don't know how they did it, but this Amsterdam movie, yeah, I expected more. I mean, the trailer looks great. I still kind of want to see it. I can't get out to see any movies these days. I'm just too busy. Too busy on the weekends, too poor, and I don't know, too unmotivated. I'm just like, I get lazy and then I go, it'll be on one of the streaming things probably. But I do want to see Amsterdam. I still want to see How They Run with Sam Rockwell. That looked good too. Not doing well at all. Amsterdam is a terrible title. Needed something punchier. Yeah. But you know, it just goes to show you the star power's done. Christian Bale and Margot Robbie. I mean, they're two pretty big names. Margot Robbie especially right now. But they also kind of didn't promote her as much as Christian Bale. And, you know, and she wasn't in a skimpy costume. I mean, she looks great, but she wasn't in like a hot costume. Because, you know, it was the time period it takes place in. She can't really be in a bikini. But I don't know if the cut of the trailer was that good. And then the third actor, I don't even know him, but for once, like Hollywood's kind of finally, you know, once in a while they do something smart, and it is smart to have, like, you know, if you want to drag up some other actors into star territory, you put two fairly big stars, and then you put like a decent third actor in there. He's maybe not that big. I don't know the third guy's name. I forget. He's not that big, but you know, normally this would have, I think it would have done much better under normal circumstances. People just aren't going out to the movies. It's also the kind of movie you can wait for. You know, same thing with See How They Run. I mean, both those movies feel like small, arty type movies that you can wait and either you see them in the art house or you just wait for them on TV. I don't know if it's a terrible title, Amsterdam. It's neutral, I'll say. It's very neutral. It's not much to it. It could have been punchier. I'm not sure what you would have called it. You know, something to do with the mystery, because it's a mystery. Lyle Lyle Crocodile. That, to me, I mean, they're saying that's lukewarm box office. I think it's pretty good for a kids movie. Number 2, 11 million. It's not bad. I think it cost them a lot of money though, because there's a ton of CGI in that. But the Woman King still hanging on at 4. That's not. It's actually not too bad, I guess, for the Woman King. Well, 3,300 theaters. I mean, so still about the same amount of theaters. I mean, for the third week, Don't Worry, Darling. Ugh, get out of here. That's just blah, blah. Both those movies really are just blah. Barbarian, I guess, is good. I mean, I didn't think it looked good from that trailer, but standard scary movie, I guess, with Justin Long and Bros. And Bullet Train still hanging in there in its 10th week. Cracked 100 million. So I don't think it's going to lose Sony money. Well, maybe on the advertising. They did advertise it quite a bit. It should have done better. Bullet Train should have done 300 million. I mean, Rise of Gru did that. DC League of Super Pets still struggling to break 100 million. I guess that's a break even for them. They didn't really advertise that movie that much, I guess. Oh, there's See How They Run at number, what's that? Number 12 or 14. Yeah, it's a shame. 8 million. Oh, that can't be enough. That was a period piece. Period piece, man. With all those cars and actors. Oh, man. Sam Rockwell deserves an audience, damn it. The Imitation. I thought that would do better. That vampire movie. Pearl. Still kind of hanging in there. Triangle of Sadness. Oh, my God. It bombed. It did look very weird, though. I'll say that. It looked weird, but in a fun way. Jeez, it's only in 10 theaters. Why is it only in 10 theaters? Super Pets, you can make your money back with the toys. It's true. Yeah. Triangle of Sadness, only in 10 theaters. Tar is only in 4? Why even release it with that few theaters? I mean, Triangle of Sadness looked weird as F, but it deserved, like, an art house release. And it has Woody Harrelson in it. Tar? It's got Cate Blanchett. People are psyched for that movie, at least in the art house community. Ardent, if you haven't seen it, Mr. Right with Rockwell and Anna Kendrick was pretty quirky good. He's always quirky good. What's the other movie where he plays... Oh, God. I can't think of the name. It's, now let me just look it up. Sam Rockwell. This is why I got the IMDb up. Okay. It's a movie he was in. Oh, he was in F is for Family as Vic Reynolds. I didn't realize that was him. Oh, good for you. I love that cartoon. If you haven't seen F is for Family, friggin' great cartoon. Triangle of Sadness sounds like a bummer. It's just weird. Was it Moon? I can't remember. There's Galaxy Quest, so it was after that. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. It wasn't the one I was thinking of, but that's good too. I really like that one. What the hell is it? He was in the assassination of Jesse James. Huh. Didn't realize that. Iron Man 2. I guess... No, I remember... Now I remember Moon. It wasn't Moon. That's not the one I'm thinking of. But that one's okay. Feels more like a short movie. Where the hell is it? Oh, man. Can't think of the name of this thing. Couldn't have been before Galaxy Quest. He plays... His day job is he's a reenactor. And oh God, I can't think of the damn movie. It's not Seven Psychopaths. Why is it not here? He was in Inside Amy Schumer? I don't remember that. I watched most of those. That was okay. It was an okay sketch show. Inside Amy Schumer, which is weird to say because now she's just so horrible in my view, but what the hell is he coming up in? The Adventures of Drunky. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind was a good one with Sam. Maybe it was that one. Am I thinking of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind? Maybe I am. Yeah, I mean, this is great. No, it definitely wasn't that one, but it's such a great movie. And I love The Gong Show. Google The Gong Show on YouTube sometimes if you want to watch. It was Matchstick Men? No, I don't think it was that. No. Ah, damn it. Can't think of what the hell the movie was. Seven Psychopaths was fun. Walkham is awesome. Yeah, that was fun too. He's in interesting stuff. Frost Nixon. That was okay. Wasn't great. I don't freaking see it. Cowboys and Aliens? He was in that? Oh, that movie's terrible. God, that movie's brutal to watch. Tell me you like Cowboys and Aliens, and I will fight you. That movie, God, what an absolute cluster F. Oh, so sorry to see that he was in that. And I think Olivia Wilde's in it too. God, she sucks. She sucks so much in a movie that sucks. That should be a compliment. Yep. And it's Olivia Wilde. And God, Harrison Ford's in it. What an embarrassment that movie is. Absolute embarrassment. I will fight you if you tell me that's a good movie. I will fight you. I can't figure out what the hell movie I'm thinking of. Damn it. I don't see. Jeez. Oh, he was in the Richard Jewell movie. Ardent, I love Cowboys and Aliens. You son of a bee. Just kidding. That thing bit ass. Yeah, it did. Oh, God. God, is that awful. Yeah, I can't find it. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I know he was in this movie, but I can't think of it. Probably come to me later. But yeah, so that's the box office. I mean, what a disaster, really. What is this? This is October. I mean, it makes sense. Smile. You would think these friggin' idiots would be releasing horror movies left and right in an attempt to make some damn cash. JC, Cowboys and Aliens was a comic book they created to be turned into a movie. Didn't think about it. Passed on the title. Yeah, no, I sort of knew the guys who made that comic. They were like, there was this company called Malibu. I don't know if you remember this. This was a while back. And they made comics like, they made like a Shazam knockoff, I'll call it. A couple others. And their big claim to fame was they had a computerized coloring system that worked really well before Marvel had gone completely computer, digital coloring. And I think eventually they were bought by Marvel for their coloring system, but I think it was the guys at Malibu, or some of them who had been involved in Malibu, who put together this company that marketed Cowboys and Aliens and other products to make movies, and that was part of their shtick. But I felt they were very cynical about it. JC, when Image Comics started, they published through Malibu. Yeah. Malibu had some odd books, says Ardent. Yeah, they did. Some of them were good, though. I mean, it was Prime. That was the one I'm thinking of. It was a character that would, like, he was like Shazam, except it was more, instead of magical, it was kind of like technological. He would grow this, like, outer shell or something that was the Prime body that was super powered, and then he'd run around, and then later it would, like, I don't know, it'd like disintegrate, and then he'd be a kid again, and it was weird. Um, but they had some cool stuff, and they pushed and pushed and pushed during the time when comic books were hot. You know, right around the death of Superman. This is like 92, 93, 94, 95. Well, it all fell apart right in 94, and I was there. But I believe it was those guys, they passed around this proposal for creators, like, get involved in us and we'll, you know, take your project to the next level kind of thing. And the idea would be you would sign up and they would promote it as a movie and maybe you'd get a piece of it or whatever. There were a few companies like that back then. I met the guys at CrossGen, and they were pitching their stuff at the time back when they had tons of money, and I felt a little arrogant, and I was arguing with the CrossGen guy, and I said, nobody's going to remember your comics in 5 years. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you guys don't have anything. You have nothing. You have nothing. You're going to sell off everything, and you're going to close up shop, and it'll be like you never existed. And I told him that right to his face, and he would argue against me. And I had a friend who had introduced me to him, and he went on to like do video games and stuff. He's in the system, as they say. He's making good money, but you know, I was just like, yeah, this stuff, none of this stuff's working. None of this stuff is good. CrossGen who? Exactly, Ardent or JC. Exactly, JC. CrossGen who? Exactly. Ardent, speaking of weird comics, do you remember Clive Barker-based Razorline comics on Hokum and Hex and Ecto Kid? I do. That was, again, during the explosion of comics. It was like, as things were dying, everybody was trying to make huge bank by just, oh, we got another new line of comics. Look, Clive Barker's doing a whole line of horror comics. They were like, kind of horror, kind of superhero. Kind of was the idea. I didn't really read them. I mean, some of the concepts sounded okay, but it didn't excite me. I'm not a Clive Barker nut, but some people I knew were back then. They loved it. They were like, oh yeah, Clive Barker's got his own comics. Sign me up for that, and they clamored for him. But yeah, I mean, Cowboys and Aliens, man. Even when they pitched it, I thought, and I had the thing that annoyed me too, and part of the reason I wouldn't sign anything with the guys who were doing that, I have a screenplay. It's similar pitch. It's not what they did. Mine's actually funny and good, but it does combine Cowboys and Aliens. But yeah, good luck. I could never pitch that. I could never get that greenlit now. Thanks to Cowboys and Aliens, I would think. I mean, that movie couldn't have done any money. No way. Let's see. I could search for it here. I guess it did do okay. Probably made its money, but let's see. Dark Fantasy, I think. I hadn't read Barker before reading those, but love his stuff now, Ardent says. Okay, here's Cowboys and Aliens. Well, it made $176 million. So, I guess that's not losing money. Although, I don't know. They had a lot of big names in that. Let's see if they have a... Yeah, they don't tell you. They never tell you the budget. I wish they would. Because nobody knows what it really is. But I think they did toys with this. They must have done toys. I don't think they went anywhere. And Daniel Craig, I think, was totally miscast, too. Daniel Craig should not... I don't think he's a Western guy at all. I just don't think he has the look. Harrison Ford, certainly. Harrison Ford, I was excited when I heard Harrison Ford was in it as a cowboy again, because he hadn't done a Western in ages. Watch The Cisco Kid. That's a good movie. But this... God. So, talking $200 million if you add the DVD and Blu-ray sales. So maybe that's money. I mean, they did advertise the hell out of that, had to be at least, I gotta say, it had to be $100 million. Had to be. Even 2011, yeah, that had to be $100 million movie, at least. At least, probably more. And they had to spend close to that on advertising. So I think that's a break even, maybe. Maybe just underneath it. So, I don't know. Cowboys and aliens. Ugh. Jamie Lee Curtis had a weird comment on Halloween Ends at New York Comic Con. Said something like, "I'm nothing without Laurie Strode, whatever her name is," which I thought was such a weird comment coming from her, because she has been in other movies, right? I mean, she had a pretty decent movie career. You know, let's take a look at her movies. I mean, she's most known for Halloween, but she's been in tons of movies. Art and Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Yes. I don't think they used that song in the movie, even though I think it was out. Yeah, so she's been in a ton of stuff over the years. I mean, you could argue nothing that big, but I mean, she was in Trading Places. She co-starred with Arnold Schwarzenegger in what's his face, True Lies, A Fish Called Wanda. I mean, to me, it was weird for her to say stuff like that. I mean, she's even directed movies. Oh, she was in The Fog. I didn't remember that. Escape from New York. She was in Escape from New York as the narrator and computer voice uncredited. Oh, wow. Who knew? Who knew? She was in Halloween 3. Because Halloween 3, if you remember, was not about Michael Myers. It was about, like, druids murdering people. But she played the curfew announcer and telephone operator, but also voice uncredited. Wow. Look at her doing cool stuff. I mean, you could argue in recent years she hasn't been in great stuff, but... Oh, she was an Archer. Oh, recent Archer. I haven't seen these. I am way behind on Archer. Wow. She had 2 different characters on Archer. Sorry. I'm distracted. All right, getting back to the... But I thought it was a weird comment. She was like, "I am nothing without Laurie Strode." Like... And she's at the end of her career, let's be honest. I mean, she's older. I don't know how old she is. Like, God, she's probably got to be in her 70s, right? How old is she? Born in 58. So what is that? It's 42 plus 22, so 64. 64 years old. I mean, she could still be in stuff as grandma. But, you know, what else are you going to be in at that age? It's hard to find good roles when you're older, I got to imagine. But she's a big name, so they'll always cast her in something. Oh, this. Me Too, 5 years later. Within Hollywood's crafts community, things didn't get better. Now we're going into the crafts community? It's weird. Craft services, I guess they're talking about? I mean, I'm sure it's hell. I'm not trying to discount the Me Too people, but they've screwed up Me Too. I mean, they screwed up Me Too, right? They've completely screwed it up. Like, they could have had a real organization that helped women, and instead, like, now they're going after the craft services, I guess, because they've had problems, I'm sure, because everybody's horny in Hollywood. But you know, to me, it was such a no-brainer, like, to set up a thing to help women who have been sexually accosted in Hollywood. It would have been an easy thing to do, but they kind of can't do it because you've got powerful people who commit these crimes, if you can call them crimes. Most of them are crimes, I guess you'd say, legally speaking. They'd be the ones financing it, so I guess the purpose of this was to finance it and then control the narrative and try to keep people from going too public about it, which wouldn't be helping women. So, seems to me that all they had to do was provide lawyers and, vet some people, but they refuse to vet people. I think that's the main problem. They refuse to vet people. It's like, oh, anybody who has a grief can just show up and start, and if you got a good story, that gets on the front page. So, oh, you got a book? Okay. All right. Margot Robbie would be so happy to see Lady Gaga take on the role of Harley Quinn in Joker 2. I guess so, because she's kind of done with that role. I think she's kind of done with it. She was great in it, I think. I think she was great in it in Suicide Squad. And she's so hot. So when I say great, I don't mean any of the movies were great. Other than Suicide Squad was okay. The good one. The rest of it was bleh. I mean, the Harley movie, that kind of hurt her, I think. Because, Amsterdam's kind of hurting her, right? It's like, where's her box office? Kind of in the toilet, except for Wolf of Wall Street. But then you could argue, well, that's not really her. That's, Leonardo DiCaprio. But maybe the Barbie movie will take off. I don't know. I think the Barbie movie will do okay. It's so ridiculous, the Barbie movie. But I think girls will go see it. Oh, I think that the one they finally did something like girls are going to go absolutely bananas to go see Barbie, unless they somehow f that up and make it too sexual or something. But I don't think they are. I think they'll make it for kids, because probably Hasbro is like, you better not screw this up. I think it's Hasbro owns Barbie, right? Yeah. I'm like 90% sure. So, yeah, Hasbro's got to be sitting on Hollywood going, there's no way you're effing this up. Because they're going to make so much money. Oh, my God, the Margot Robbie Barbie, that's going to be money, man. I wish I could invest. I guess I could buy Hasbro. Right? I guess Hasbro's on the exchange. Ooh. This is not financial advice. I have to say that. It's not. I'm an idiot. My portfolio is way down, although everybody's is down. And I don't have much of a portfolio, but Hasbro. I gotta look into that. Oh man, but she's just so hot. You can look at Margot Robbie all day. I say, you really can't. Lady Gaga, she's all right. But like next to each other, I don't think there's no comparison there. Margot Robbie for the win. You guys tell me. Margot Robbie or Lady Gaga? I don't think there's much of a comparison there. Talent-wise, Lady Gaga's music's pretty good. I'll admit. I like a couple of songs. Margot, though, is pretty good actress. Pretty funny. Got great energy to her. Oh, boy. She's just, like, shot out of a cannon sometimes. Ardent, if I had the money to actually buy Hasbro outright, the first thing I'd want to do is make an actual good Snake Eyes movie. Yeah, I don't know. That ship may have sailed. The whole G.I. Joe thing is... And you probably don't remember the original G.I. Joe. It was just one guy named Joe with a beard. And he solved mysteries in his Jeep. I had a comic book with a little 45 you put on, and it would read you the comic with like sound effects and stuff, where he'd go off in the jungle and solve a mystery and use his it wasn't really a Jeep, it was an amphibious vehicle with a winch, and it was just like the toy, and he would tie things to the winch and like wind it up and save the day. G.I. Joe. And then they turned it into, in the 80s, the big team of Joes, where everybody's in the army, but everybody's got a different uniform for some reason, based on their nickname. Yeah, it was a little crazy, but Snake Eyes was all right. But I think the ship has sailed on Snake Eyes. I think it's been too long. They've screwed it up. I think a lot of these they've screwed them up. Even some of the bigger ones, it's just like they've screwed them up so badly. They might as well just say, forget it. done, and move on to new things. But they won't because they own them, and those trademarks in the corporate world are of a value, and they can keep revamping them, and that goes back to me working in comics or trying to, and talking to guys about pitching new characters for the big two, and them just saying, no, we don't want new characters. We want you to take the old characters and make them new, and that's to save money, I think. Arnett, LOL, no, not quite that old, but I do remember the OG cartoons in the 80s, toys and comics. Yeah, for me, those were the, who are these interlopers? When I watched 80s G.I. Joe. Like, that's not Joe. Where's the guy with the beard? He should be the captain. That was my big criticism of 80s G.I. Joe. I wanted the actual Joe to be in it. I wanted him to be like the guy. Like General Joe or something. Maybe it'd be gray by that time, but I thought that would have been a cool callback. But I guess they didn't do it for various reasons. Maybe copyright, I don't know. But there was an original G.I. Joe who was a guy named Joe. And he was the figure. He was the actual guy you bought when they were like this tall. They were like 16 inch. And when you bought the Jeep was like the size of twice the size of a serving plate. I mean, it was huge. And then you put the 16-inch guy in it and you push it along the ground. And I destroyed most of them because that's what you would do. At some point, you'd get older and you'd stuff them with fireworks and go, "Oh no, Joe!" Boom. I forget what happened to mine. Probably my mother threw them out, but I did wreck them pretty good. I used to push the Jeep into the pool because G.I. Joe had a scuba suit. I'd put him in the scuba suit, put him in the Jeep, and push him into a pool. And then the Jeep would kind of float for a while and then sink, and then I'd dive into the pool and recover him. But like pulling the Jeep back out of the pool, since it was all made of plastic, like sometimes that would break off pieces of the Jeep, and eventually the Jeep kind of just fell apart. So mine weren't quite old that my toys were made of metal. Like that would have been the previous generation. Arnett, Bruce Willis played the original quote-unquote Joe in the second G.I. Joe movie? Oh, cool. So did he have a beard? I hope he had a beard. Damn it, Joe needed a beard. He was probably all bald, Bruce Willis. Well, they could remake that movie with Bruce Willis now that he's an AI figure. Now that he's going to be forever in the movies. Another thing I wrote about in Hollywoke, another novel. Because, everybody could see that one coming. But still, I put it in there. Okay. Oh, here's another thing. Star Trek The Next Generation crew is back in Picard. They've just basically gotten so desperate in the Picard TV show, they had to bring back the entire cast. And I just hear this show is absolute eye cancer. And every clip I've seen is just terrible. I mean, the first season alone turned me off of even seeing it. Even seeing one friggin' episode. Yeah. It's dumb. It's a shame. Another thing they ruined. LOL beard. He was bald Bruce Willis. Damn it. Yeah, Joe had the beard. The original Joe has the beard. Damn it. Damn it. I tried it and bailed out after episode 3. Yeah, a lot of people did. It was just like, it's too hard from what I could see. It's just like way too evil and nasty. It's like, and a bunch of woke crap in it didn't help either. But a lot of people, and Razorfist talks about this all the time when he mentions them. Patrick Stewart is very lefty, very hardcore lefty. So I assume he loves it. I guess. I don't know. For him, it's just a paycheck. I mean, he's a Shakespearean guy. I got to think he looks at the Star Trek stuff as like, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that. How much money are you paying me? I'm sure he looked at it that way when he first got the gig. But yeah, whatever. Hopefully it's just done. This will be their last hurrah for next gen. Won't have to hear about them anymore. Let's see, what time is it? 3 o'clock. Gonna have to start wrapping up soon, but let's get to Deadline. More on SNL. Shut up. What is this? Something about Batman. Ardent, yeah. Even I was outraged by the fact there was no hair at all, let alone a beard. Yeah. Here's a weird quote. Infantile love for Batman and other superheroes can be a precursor to fascism. Comic legend Alan Moore warns. Wow. Wow. You know, I've got so many Alan Moore comics, and I love his work, but that right there really makes me want to just sell it all and be done with you, Alan. I mean, Jesus, man. What the hell's wrong with you? But again, Razorfist called that one too, that, yeah, Alan Moore's pretty much a communist. He's also very arrogant too, which is why I give him a pass a lot of times. He is talented. I do love The Watchmen. I do love his run on Swamp Thing, but my God, Alan. Seriously? Infantile love for Batman and other superheroes can't... Oh, wait, he's English. I say, infantile love for Batman and other superheroes can be a precursor to fascism. That's not a very good Alan Moore. He's more like rumbly. God, that's so sad to hear. Especially from a guy who, I would say, wallowed in superheroes for as long as he did and didn't need to. You know, this is a guy who did a run on Supreme, and again, Rob Liefeld, one of the nicest guys I ever met in comics, very sweet guy, very, very humble, very, very personable, and I hate to bash his creation, but I hate Supreme. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I don't know why you think you just recreate Superman and call him Supreme and think that's a good thing. I just, why, Rob? Why? But then Alan Moore did a run on Supreme. And so this is the guy who's lecturing us. It just, Ardent, LOL fascism, that was the topic of my live stream today. And I'm going to be doing a series on the moral lessons inherent in pop culture properties coming up. Ooh. Also, he says, Alan, I'm a Satanist, self-worshipping knob Moore. Yeah. Ardent, I say. What? It's very disappointing to hear this. Makes me not want to read this stuff when I hear what these guys really think of things. And back in the day, Alan and Dave Sim used to exchange letters back and forth in Dave Sim's letter column in Cerebus. I know, it's not pronounced that way. That's the way I pronounce it, damn it. And, it was interesting. They talk about all these highfalutin ideas, which was kind of cool, I thought at the time. But, and he didn't talk this way back then. He really didn't. It seemed to me. It seems like a lot of people... Ardent, Liefeld is writing Deadpool 3? Oof. Well, maybe. I don't know. As long as somebody with comedic chops throws in the jokes. OBG says, playing Baldur's Gate while I listen. Sorry I'm not active in chat. Oh, no worries. I'm wrapping up soon. It's just so annoying. But I guess I shouldn't complain because I'm sure there's plenty of people who hate my politics and still read my stuff and, and still like it. So it just seems like you'd think a guy as smart as Alan Moore could figure out communism doesn't work. That's the thing that frustrates me. To me, it's not a system that it could work under the right circumstances, and you've got people on one side and on the other side. No, communism doesn't work. Like it's like somebody's still convinced that, I don't know, there's air on the moon and it's made of cheese, and they just keep saying, well, you don't think there's moon cheese, but I do, and my friends do, and we're very smart. So we'll just agree to disagree, but perhaps it could be one or the other. It's not like that with communism. Communism doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how many people you need to see die before you go, oh, yeah, this doesn't work. But it's just weird. Weird to me. Ugh. They're hitting all my buttons today. James Bond screenwriters reveal secrets of more complex narrative for Daniel Craig and 007. Oh, what's the secret? To suck? What, to suck? To write as much suck as possible in the screenplay? Arden, LOL at OBG. Don't feel inadequate. I'm just a motor mouth. LOL. You guys, James Bond veteran screenwriters have shared the secrets of writing 007's memorable lines. Yeah, it's called taking the ones out of Ian Fleming's book and putting them in the movie. Something you guys didn't do, mostly in the Daniel Craig days, except for the first one. First one's the only good one, in my view, of Daniel Craig. Casino Royale, solid. Solid, probably would watch again. Everything else, I'd throw it right in the trash. Wouldn't think twice about it. Gone. Goodbye. No thank you. No thank you. Terrible. Quantum of Solace, easily the worst Bond movie ever, I think. Now, I haven't seen the last one where they kill him, which I guess technically I'd probably say that's the worst one. Probably couldn't even stomach that one. And I refuse to watch it. Refuse to pay you people one thin dime for ruining Bond. But, Quantum of Solace. You people ought to be drummed out of screenwriting. If I ran a council of Ricks, that's what I'd do. Council of Tony screenwriters. All different versions of myself in an alternate dimension. I'd drum you right out of screenwriting. God. The arrogance on these people. Well, I've written James Bond. Yeah, terrible Bonds. Oh, let me tell you about the nuance of how I wrote these lines for Daniel Craig. Blech. Hackers interrupt Iranian state TV news bulletin in protest following death of Mahsa Amini. Neat. See, we really are turning into an 80s dystopia. This was like in every 80s dystopia movie. There'd be a scene where people would be watching the state TV that would be oppressing everyone, and then it would go all fuzzy, and then a guy with a crazy mask would come on. We are the resistance. So that's kind of amazing that it could happen now. Love to see it happen here. That'd be hilarious. Top chefs call out Great British Bake Off for 100-year-old stereotypes during Mexico-themed week. Ah, Jesus. God, why do we have to end on such annoyingly woke headlines? Deadline. Britain's favorite cookery show has been accused of cultural appropriation by some of the country's top Mexican chefs. It has nothing to do with the attention we want. Shut up. Oh my God, they wore a sombrero and a poncho. Oh dear God. Someone call the police. Won't someone call the police? God. Oh, good. All right, you know what? Ban it. Ban Mexican food from the British cookery show or whatever the hell it's called. Great British Bake Off. Ban all Mexican food. Good. I hope they do. I hope they do, because you got to complain. You got to complain that they wore a friggin' poncho and a hat. Hope they ban it all. And then, well, there's never any Mexican food on. Oh, well, no. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to. No, go make your own show. You want everything segregated. Ugh. So annoying. But this is the UK, where people are insufferably woke. Just insufferably. Ardent, yeah, things like this make me wonder if William Gibson was a prophet instead of a novelist. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he predicted a lot of stuff. Absolutely. God, 1, 2, 3 SNL articles. You would think this show was watchable. Although I will say, this is news that Colin Farrell crashed SNL because Brendan Gleeson was the host. And I'll say this too for SNL. Brendan Gleeson is a great host. That's the kind of host they had back in the 70s. They put Christopher Lee on as a host of SNL back in the 70s. And Christopher Lee was not he was a name, but he wasn't the name back then. Back then, he was just Dracula. Like, people knew him as, oh, wasn't he in the old Dracula movie? And you'd be like, oh, yeah. So a lot of people didn't know him all that well in the States, but it was a very cool guest. I mean, back in the 70s. So I think Brendan is almost as cool of a guest for them to pick because he's pretty known, but he's not super well known. Like, he's not a general audience kind of guy that they normally have on SNL. But Colin Farrell would be, right? So the fact that Brendan Gleeson is on and then Colin Farrell crashes it. I mean, they're promoting, what is it, The Banshees of Inisherin, which looks great, by the way. That looks like a great movie. So, you know, if I could stomach SNL, I'd watch it to watch Brendan Gleeson do funny stuff because he is a really good actor. So I assume his comic timing is pretty on point. But there's Colin Farrell sporting a girthy mustache. What? Some kind of wacky sketch, I guess. But that's funny. All right, I think I got to wrap it up here. I don't want to get into screen rant headlines or I'll just get mad. But in conclusion, guys, I think we could all see by the numbers that movies are going down the tubes. I'd rather watch old Super Dave Osborne clips from Bizarre instead of SNL, says Ardent. Excellent choice, Ardent. I endorse that choice. Super Dave was awesome. I miss him. That guy knew how to bring the funny. He really did. His brother kind of is woke now, although he's still very funny. But, yeah. I think what we learned today is movies are going to hell. Isn't that what we learned last week? Yes. But we confirmed it once again. And maybe these art house movies are not going to be a thing. I mean, geez. Amsterdam, Triangle of Sadness, Tar, and See How They Run. All are struggling. I think they would do better if they got a little oomph behind them. Especially the Tar and Triangle of Sadness. They're not even in theaters. Why even put them on the list? 4 theaters. You're going to put them in... What's the point of putting a movie into 4 theaters? That's all you can get? It's ridiculous. Ardent, a good stream, buddy. Have a good day. You too. I'm going to wrap it here. Gonna go buy some bread. I think I'm gonna go buy bread. I'm Italian, so that's what we do. We buy bread and then we eat it. So have a good week, those of you. See you tomorrow and later for my various videos. I will be at the Ocean City Public Library on Tuesday, another library on Thursday, I forget which one, and another library on Saturday. So it's Halloween, it's Piney season, and we'll see you next time.